Hello, you are welcome to another segment. My name will remain the same. Abimbola Temitope. Today, we continue from where we stopped the last time, which is the addition and the subtraction of sword. But we will go to the in-depth form of this particular topic, which is sword. Now, we've talked about the addition and subtraction of the topic called sword. Now, today we'll be moving to the multiplication of sword and the rationalization of sword. But before that, let me quickly remind you of the assignment given to you. The assignment given to you was the first one. The question says simplify 24 plus root 96 minus root 600. Now let's look at the first question. This root 24, if you break it down, is going to give us the multiple of 12 times 2, giving us 24. Plus, looking at this 96, we are going to have 32, that is times 3. Then minus this 600 is going to give us 100 times 6. 100 times 6. If this one is too big for you, you can use the LCM. Think I'm communicating. Okay. This one will give us 300. Then 2 here we have 150. 2 here we have 7. And then that is 75. Then 3 here we have what? That is 25. Then 5 can go here. 5 here we have 5. 5 here we have 1. 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 2, 8. 8 times 3, 24. 24 times 5. 24 times 5. That is, we have 0, 2. That is 10. That is 120. 120. And if you look at it, if you say 120 times 5, you can see both 120 and 5, they are what? Irrational. Both 120 and 5 are irrational. If you can remember, we have to get one rational and one irrational numbers. So this one is irrational and then irrational number. So we have 100 times 6. So, this is 24. Can we break this 24 down? If you look at this, these two numbers that I wrote, they are irrational number. Please, you need to be very careful. So we have 24. 24 is going to give us what? That is 4 times 6. 4 times 6 is 24. Let me show you. 2 here is what? 12. 2 here is what? Is 6. 2 here is what? Is 3. 3 here, 1. That is 2 times 2 is what? Is 4. You know, if you say 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 2, 8. 8 is what? Rational. Is irrational. And 3 is also what? Irrational. So it will not work. So we need one rational and one what? Irrational. 2 times 2 is 4. So we can find the perfect square of 4. Then times, then we have 2 times 3, which is what? 6. So what we have here is 4 times what? Times 6. 4 times 6. And then looking at this second one, let's see if we are going to get 6 as well. 96. 2 here is what? We have 4. Then this one we have 8. 2 here is what? 24. 24. Then 2 here we have 12. 2 here we have 6. And then 2 here we have what? We have 3. 3 here we have 1. And looking at these two, we have two irrational number, which we know what? We know what? Because two of them, we cannot find the what? The perfect square of these two number. 2 times 2 is what? Is what? 16 times what? Times 6. 16 times 6 give us 96. Now, root 16 times root 6 minus root 100 times root 6. So what do we have here now? What is the square root of 4? That is 2 times root 6. 2 root 6 plus, what is the square root of 16? 4. 4 times root 6. 4 root 6 minus, what is the square root of 100? That is 10. 10 times root 6 is 10 root what? Root 6. Now let's add it together. 2 root 6 plus 4 root 6 is what? 6 root 6. 6 root 6 minus what? 10 root 6. Now what is my final answer? 6 root 6 minus 10 root 6 is what? That is minus 4 root 6. How do I get minus 4? This is positive. Minus 6 minus 10 will give me what? Minus 4. I mean 6 minus 10 will give me minus 4. Then we have what? Root 6. And this is my final answer for the first question. And for the second question, we have to simplify 50 root 50 plus root 63 minus root 32 minus root 32. Now, looking at this particular question now this is root 50. How do we get root 50? Root 50, we have, that is 25 times 2. Root 25 times 2 plus, let's find 63. 63. So what do we have here? 3 can go. You know that is what? 2, 3 here, 1. And what else again? 3 can go. We have what? 7. What do we have here? 7. We have 1. Here we have 3 times 3 is what? 9. That is 9. Then root what? 7. So we have root 9 times 7. Then minus, what is the last one? That is 32. 32 will give me what? That is 16 times what? Times 2. Rational, irrational. So 16 times 2. So what do we have here now? This is the same thing as root 25 times root 2 plus, what do we have? Root 9 times root 7 minus root 16 times root 2. So here now, what is the square root of 25? That is 5 root 2 plus, what about 9? That is 3 root what? Root 7, because you can't find this, they are irrational. Minus, what is this one? What is this? 4 root what? Root 2. Now, what do we have now in common? If you look at the first numbers, 5 root 2, this one has root 2. This 5 carries root 2, and this 4 also carries root 2. So let's arrange them. Let's collect the like times. We have 5 root 2, shift this one forward, minus 4 root 2. Then what do we have? Plus 3 root 7, because this one is not the same with this. So what do we have? 5 root 2 minus 4 root 2 is what? That is 1 root 2. And 1 root 2 is the same thing as root 2 plus 3 root 7. They are not the same thing, so you can't add, because they have different what? Different roots. And this is my final answer. I believe you get the 2 questions given to you the last time we met. Okay. All right. Today, let's talk about multiplication of sword. Multiplication of sword. Now, the multiplication of sword, I've told you, the root can multiply roots. The normal whole number, which is integer, can multiply the normal integer. So we don't have any problem with that one. It's different from the operation, addition, and the subtraction. Like this example, if you have simplify root 45 times root 28. Let's solve this. Root 45 times root 48. Let's solve this together. So if we break this one down, we have root 45 will give us root 9 times 5. You can see we have 5 here. We can't break this 5 down again. So but we can find the perfect square of what? Of 9. So you must make sure that you will find the perfect square of 1, and the second will be irrational number, which you cannot find the what? The square. Now, what about this 28? If we break it down, we have to find what? 1 perfect, 1 irrational. So this one will give us 1 4. 2 here is 7. So that is what? That is 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 7 will give us what? 1 perfect and 1 what? Irrational. So what do we have here now? We have to break this down. 9 times what? Root 5 times what? Root 4 times root 7. So what do we have here? What is the square of this? The root of 9 is what? Is 3 times root 5 times what? What is the root of this? 2 times what? Root 7. And if you collect the like times here, we are going to say what? We say 3 times 2, then 5 times 7, because all are what? Multiplication. Now, we now say 3 times 2, then times what? Root 5 times root 7. So, what do we have? 3 times 2 is what? That is 6. We have 6. What about this? Root 5 times root 7 is what? That is what? Root 35. So, we have root 35. So, my final answer here is 6 root what? Root 35. That is my final answer. So, you multiply the whole numbers and you multiply the irrational numbers. You multiply the irrational numbers. Okay. Let's look at another example. Let's look at another example. Another example. The question says, simplify root 2 bracket root 2 plus root 3 minus 3 bracket root 2 minus root 3. Let's solve this question. Let's solve this. Okay, what do we do? Let me write the question. We have root 2 bracket root 2 plus root 3, then minus 3 bracket root 2 minus root 3. So we open the bracket. This is general question now. We open the bracket. How do we open the bracket? We say what? We use this root 2 to open this, and we use this minus 3 to open this. Now let's do this. Now this one is going to be root 2 times root 2, isn't it? It's going to give me root 2 times root 2, Abi, plus root 2 times root 3, root 2 times root 3. I'm through with that one. I move to the second one. Minus 3 times root 2, 3 times root 2, minus times minus. Don't forget this particular number. Don't forget this particular operation. So we have what? Minus what? 3. Minus 3 times minus what? Minus root 3, which is going to give me plus. So, but let me do like this. Minus times minus is what? Is plus. So this one is going to be minus 3 times minus what? Root 3. So what do I get now? I have root 2 times root 2 is what? Will give me 4. So I have root 4 plus root 2 times this is what? Root 6 minus 3 times root 2 is what? Will give me 3 root what? Root 2. Then what is now? Minus times minus is what? Plus. 3 times root 3 is what? Root 3. Now with this now, what do I get? What is the square root of this 4? I have 2 plus what? Root 6 minus what? 3 root 2 plus what? 3 root 3. If you look at this expression, you can see that there's nothing common here. There's nothing common. And mind you, please be very careful. This is a whole number, an integer. It's different from this security man. Looking at this now, you're going to see that this is the security man here. This is the owner of the house. So this one cannot what? Cannot jump and come and meet this what? This outside man. You can see? Cannot jump. You cannot say 2 minus 3 and then plus 3. No. This particular number is attached to this root. And this one is attached to this one. Even we have one here. This one here is attached to this root. So we don't have any whole number to what? To add to this or subtract or multiply with this one. And these roots are not the same. So my final answer, this is my final answer. This is going to be my final answer. And that is that one. Now, the next topic in line is rationalization. of surd. Rationalization of surd. So I have, let me clean this, please. Rationalization of surd. Now, this number a all over b is not equal to a root b. You know that? Once they give you something like this, these are what? This one is normal fraction. But if you have this number, if you have expression like this, a over root b, it means that this one is normal numerator, while this one carry what? Root. That means that we have to what? We have to rationalize this denominator. How do we rationalize it? We are going to say a all over root b. That is a question. We now say times, what is the denominator? Root what? Root b. It will now be root b all over root b. You will rationalize the word, both the numerator and the denominator, by what? By that same denominators. And what is that denominator? That is root what? Root b. And then what do we get here? A times root b is what? A root b, or is equal to, what do we have here? This one is going to give me what? Root b times root b is what? It's going to give me what? That is going to give me root b what? Root b square. Now, but that is not where we are going. That is not where we are going. Now, if you have a question like this, simplify root 1 all over, root 1 all over 3. Root 1 all over 3. You know, this particular expression is among the rules of surd given to you. Now, I can also say root 1 all over root 3. You can see I segregate it. So, I put this one at the numerator, I put this one at the denominator. It's the same thing with what is here. Now, having root as our what? At our denominator level, you cannot solve this without what? Rationalizing. Anytime you see root at the denominator level, you must what? Rationalize. Now, how do we rationalize this now? Let's rationalize now. Okay, this question now, what are we going to use to rationalize? The same root what? Root 3. It will now be what? Times what? Times root 3 all over what? Root 3. So what do I get now? Root 1 times root 3 is what? That is root what? Root 3 all over. Root 3 times root 3 is what? That is root 9. Then giving me, I can't find the root of this, the square root of this, root 3 all over. What is root 9? Square root of 9 is what? Is 3. Now, you can use this to divide this. Take note of that. Do you understand? So this is going to be my final answer. Root 3 all over 3. Now, let's do more examples. More examples. Now, if we have, the question says, simplify. Let me write like maybe 4 questions. The following. And we have the first one, 3 over root 3. B. We have 14 over root 7. C. We have 10 or 6 over root 3. And the D part, let's assume we have root 5 over root 2. Now let's solve this together. Let's solve this together. Our solution. The first one, 3 all over root 3. What are we going to do? We rationalize. With what? With the denominator. And what is the denominator? Root what? Root 3. This one will now give me times root 3 all over times root 3. That means you multiply the what? Both the numerator and denominator by the what? By the denominator. The value. Now, what do we get now? Now what? 3 times root 3 is what? That is 3 root 3 over root 3 times root 3 is what? Root 9. Then what do we get here? 3 root 3 all over, what is the square root of this? 3. So what happened? This can cancel this. Why? Because it's not inside. Do you understand? So 3 can go here. 3 here 1. 3 here is what? 1. What remains here is what? Root 3. And that is my final answer. Then the second one, we have 14 over root 7. So what do? We use this one with 7 to multiply both. We have times root 7 over root 7. So what do we get now? 14 times root 7 is what? 14 root 7 all over root 7 times root 7. That is root 49. And what is that? We have what? 14 over root 14 root 7 over, what is the square root of 49? 7. So what do I get here? 7 here 1. 7 here is what? Is 2. So what is my final answer? 2 root what? Root 7. That is my final answer. Then the third one, the C part, we have 6 over root 3. Now, what do? We use the denominator to multiply both sides times root 3 over root 3. So what is? We have 6 times root 3 is what? 6 root 3 over, this one will give us what? 9. Root 3 times root 3 is 9. So what is? We have what? 6 root 3 over square root of this is what? Is 3. And my final answer is 3 here 1, 3 here 2. That is 2 root 3. And the final one, that is the last one. What do we have? We have root 5 over what? Over root 2. So what do? We multiply by this times root 2 over 2. So what do we get here? Root 5 times root 2 is what? That is root what? Root 10 all over root 2 times root 3 is what? That is root 4. Now we can't find the perfect square of this one, so it will remain the same, root 10 over, what is root square root of 4? That is what? That is 2. And this is my final answer. That is root 10 all over root 2. Now I'm going to do one more question, which is general question, the combination of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and then rational numbers. Now look at this. Let's do this together. The question says, without using calculator or mathematical tables, evaluate. We have 2 root 7 minus 14 root 7 plus 7 over root 21. Now, do this. Look at this first one. We can't find the perfect square for this 7. So we're going to have what? 2 root 7 minus, let's rationalize this what? This root 7, because once the root is at the denominator level, you have to what? Rationalize it. So let's rationalize it. So let's do this. So what do we have here? Let me put it in bracket. We have 14 over what? Root what? Root 7 is going to be what? Times what? Times the root 7 all over what? All over root 7. Then what do we have? Then your bracket close. Plus, looking at this second number too, we have root at the what? At the denominator level. So we have to rationalize as well. We have what? 7 over root 21 times root 21 over root 21. So bracket what? Bracket close. So what do we do now? Now we now have what? 2 root 7 minus, so what do we have here? 14 times root 7. That is 14 root 7 over this one. Root 7 times root 7 is what? Root 49. Then we have plus, what do we have here? 7 times root 21. 7 root 21 all over root 21 times root 21. That is 1, 2. We have 2. Then we have 4. That is 4, 4, 1. Then we have root 4, 4, 1. Root 4, 4, 1. Then having done this, we still have this one in contact. 2 root 7 minus, what do we have here now? We have 14 root what? Root 7 all over, what is the square root of this one? 7. Then plus, what is this? 7 root what? Root 21 all over, what is the square root of 441? That is what? 21. That is 21. So what is the next thing? What is the next thing we are going to do? What are we going to do next? Thank you. We find the LC what? LCM of the denominator. LCM of the denominator. And if you look at this, what is the LCM of 7 and what? And 21. It's still going to give me what? 21. 7 cannot go. What is this? This one is what? Is 7. 7 again, 1, 1. 3 times 7 is 21. So the LCM is 21. Is 21. So multiply all through by what? By 21. So multiply all through by LCM 21. And then we now have what? 21 times what? Times 2 root 7 minus 21. Then we have what? Times 14 root 7 over what? Over 7 plus 21. Then times what? 7 root what? Root 21 over 21. So 21 times 2 is what? They give me 42. Thank you. Let me put it here. I have 42 root what? Root 7 minus 7 here 1. Then I have what? 7 in 21 is 3. 3 times 14 will give me what? Will give me 46. 42. That is 42. I have 42. Then root what? Root 7. And then the last one plus 21 here 1. 21 here is 1. So what is left is 7 root what? 7 root what? Root 21. So now, looking at this particular question, you are going to see that this one and this one are common. They are common. So what do we do now?